Hello everyone and welcome back to SIG Blender. In the last tutorial we modeled this little handy dandy tree using the skin and subsurf modifiers to ease our workflow. Instead of having to make every face, we used points and had a little kind of armature, I guess, form around them and then subdivide to look nice and pretty. So in this tutorial I'm thinking of making the background models for our scene. Obviously these two objects will be in the foreground, sitting right in front of us, like right in front of the camera, so they're heavily detailed. For this next object, I'm thinking it'll be a building in the background. So obviously since it's in the background, it won't need as much detail. I'm thinking it'll be just a simple cube-like object, maybe one or two, make it a little variety. And it'll have some windows on it, and that'll be about it. So we're going to start with a cube. I'm going to name it building. And obviously I hid the tree and umbrella. I also forgot to turn on this, as I always do. Give me a moment. This is for you, not to me, so don't worry about it. And now you can see whatever I'm typing. Sweet. So we got our cube, which we're going to turn to a building. I'm going to scale this up a bit. What I kind of want to do is make it a little longer than it is bigger, and kind of have it get a little shorter each time. So you'll see what I mean. I want to do Control R, do a subcut, loop cut, and then scale the X of the two lines I got. And then take these faces on either side. Actually, I can just, before we even start, I know how many lines of symmetry we're going to have. So you can loop cut this like that to make a little plus. Hit Z to go into wireframe, Control Shift Q, Control Alt Q actually, to go into this view. And then we're going to take this side, that's right, that's the back, yes. So we want to not hit the front ortho. And this side. And we're going to delete them. And add a mirror modifier on the X and Y. Voila, now we have less work to do. So let's extrude that. Like so. I'm thinking we do one more. Extrude. I think it'll be a two-story building, so do something like that. Yeah. Like I said before, modeling based off an image is good, but for something as abstract, like you're gonna see this very far away, it doesn't really matter. I'm kind of just making whatever I have in my mind. So yeah, this is what our building will look like. Now what I want is I want to have a bunch of mirrors going all over this face, these couple of faces. So we're gonna start obviously by modeling one mirror, or not one mirror, one window, same difference. And I'm not going to make it in edit mode of the object. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make it a completely separate object for reasons you'll find out soon. Call this window. Almost called it mirror. Alright. Into edit mode. I'm gonna make it thin like a mirror. Let's see. We want to do some subcuts to make that a little mirror cross. Why do I say mirror? It's a window. The window cross like this. So we're going to end up intruding, really, an extrude inside of like these four to give that mirror window look. So we're also going to do these. Make that one a little thinner. Yeah. So again, the reason why I'm not being as precise with this as I would with a thing that's close up is this mirror window will be in the background, so I don't really care. We're going to extrude, but go this way instead of normally out. By the way, if you're ever confused which way your extrude is going, you can see the number down. Oh, I guess I can't really point, but down here you can see it's changing. Always make sure you're extruding positive when you mean to, because sometimes it seems like you are, but really extruding negative, and it's going to mess everything up. So boom, we got ourselves a mirror. A little big relative to our building, so first thing we'll do is we'll put it next to our building and shrink it as need be. I plan on having 2 mirrors per wall. Also, I realized that these walls are kind of small, so I'm just going to bring them out a bit. GY, move them out, make them as big. I'll make that one bigger because I also have to make these ones bigger. Yeah. Perfect. Ish. Yeah. Alright. So, also, for the sake of just seeing our window against the building, I'm going to click on this, which is the Materials tab. I'm going to hit New. So we're not worrying about materials yet, don't worry. This is just so that in the solid view port, it appears white next to the gray. We'll name this Temp so that we know when we come around to putting materials on, working with our shaders and textures, that this was not meant to actually be a shader. It was just a white shader thrown onto this object so that we know what it is relative to this gray background. So I want 2 mirrors per little box here, so I'm going to scale this down so that would make more sense. Now I think 2 will work. So what I could do is I could just hit like Shift-D and place them all around, but that would be a lot of work, and this is all about doing a lot of work in not a lot of steps. So I'm going to use a modifier, as we always do. I'm going to use the array modifier, and if you change this offset from the X to the Y, you can see what the array modifier does is it makes the object array. Arrays you should get. You're probably a YWCC person, you know what an array is. But if not, an array is a series of objects, so obviously array in Blender would create a series. You can mess with the count here, which we will later, and these are the offset X, Y, and Z. And yeah, so we're going to use another array to move them down. This time, instead of messing with the X or the Y, we're going to mess with the Z in a negative way. Say -1 point, yeah, 1.8 works. Upgrade that count to 3 and boom. You have a nice set of windows. Alright, I'm going to go even more crazy with our arrays and add a 3rd array. Whoa. That wasn't an array. Add a 3rd array. Whoa. Alright. So this one, I want to move this set of 2x3 over to this wall. So I'm going to be messing with both the X in that negative way and also the Y in a negative way. And boom. Let's see, can we get it more? Hit Control-Shift-Q again. I always say Control-Shift-Q, it's Control-Alt-Q. We can look at our right ortho, which is actually facing the back side because I messed up. Look at the top ortho. You can see that it's pretty right. Maybe like a 1.25 will put it more in the center. Yeah. Alright. So we want to move this whole bit up and to the left. I suppose we can also do that with an array, can't we? Let's see. We'll move them up in a Z. And I just really wanted to use arrays today. I'm also going to move this up so it matches the size of the previous height. Yep. Whoa, okay. And we're going to move it over. Like so. We'll move it up a bit more so it's not touching the floor as much. Maybe 1.15 will be good. Obviously your numbers will be different because there wasn't exact science on modeling this object, but you can see what I'm trying to do to place them in the center of this tile. And 0.6, maybe is 0.5 better? No, maybe 0.55. 0.575? Yeah, that's okay. Just putting it right in the middle. So as you can see, we got most of our walls done. We can't really get this one with an array now because we'd be arraying so much. But one way just to jump these over to this side real quick would be to use a mirror modifier. But if we try and do a mirror modifier right now, and we want to mirror it over the Y, see, it didn't work too well. So what we're going to do is we want to mirror it over the center here instead of where the current object is. And the way you do that was with a mirror object. So we need an object to be at 0, 0 to array it over. What we're going to hit is Shift-C. That will move our 3D cursor, which is this thing, which I don't think I ever told you about because it's not really that useful, except for when you're doing this. Shift-C brings it back to 0, 0. And then we can create an empty. So this won't be anything, it's literally just an empty object. And then if we mirror over the empty, whoosh, throws it right over. And so now this one mirror object, or no, one window object, has done all of this very simply. I'm going to hit Shift-D on the mirror and get rid of a lot of the arrays. Not that last one though. And this will be our final set of windows. Yep. Sweet. So now you can see with just 3 objects, we've created a whole big set of a kind of nice looking apartment complex. There's no door, but I don't really care about that because it's gonna be in the background. It's gonna be hidden by fog. It's gonna be a rainy day. I just hope that these windows will be emitting light, shining through the fog, make it a little pretty. Anyway, we'll move Shift-C on all 3 objects, kind of move them away a little bit, and now we can see everything we got. Oh yeah. This scene's coming out to be good. On the next scene, I'm going to be creating the floor TM. Maybe not actually. Yeah, something so that we can start thinking about the actual design of this whole scene more, because right now it's just a bunch of objects who don't really have a scale relative to each other. So if we create the ground, we can start thinking about that whole scale a lot more. And that'd be pretty useful. So that probably will be the next tutorial unless I change my mind in between then and now. Otherwise, it probably will be. So